Have you ever wondered, why do some people live an ordinary life while others face the same circumstances, the same struggles, yet flip their life around like magic? Do they have something extra? Or do they simply know the art of believing in themselves? Claude Bristol says within every person there is an invisible power that awakens from only one thing: belief. Not just trust, but a belief that is no ordinary faith. It is that mental fire which turns your thinking into reality. Look at a soldier who keeps hope of victory even in impossible conditions. Look at an artist who believes in their creation even when everyone says no. Look at a poor child who waters their dream with their belief. They are all using the same magic, the magic of believing. The year was 1944. World War II was at its peak. Everywhere the echo of bullets, skies filled with smoke, and humanity scattered on the ground. Claude Bristol was a war correspondent at the time. He was standing in a makeshift military hospital where on every bed a battle between life and death was being fought. Among them was a young man, barely 24 years old. His name is not recorded anywhere in history, but his story still echoes today. His body bore bullet wounds, blood had been lost, and the doctors quietly said, "He will not see the night." Claude looked toward him. His eyes were closed. His breath was slow, but on his face was a strange calm. Suddenly the young man stirred. His eyes opened. There was silence all around. In a pain-broken voice he said, I will survive." The doctors came closer and said, "Stay calm, you need rest." But he spoke again, "I cannot die. My mother said, your belief will save you." There was a glow in his eyes that could not exist in any wounded man. He was seeing some other world beyond the pain. He knew he would survive. Claude Bristol wrote that moment in his diary. His words held no fear, no pleading. There was only a certainty, as if he knew the universe was going to listen to him. Days passed. Doctors wrote the same report. No hope. But every morning, that young man became a little more alive. Sometimes his breathing steadied, sometimes his pulse quickened. And one day he sat up. The doctors were stunned. They said, "This is a medical miracle." Claude smiled and said, "This is not medicine. This is belief therapy." He realized the young man was healing not through his body, but through the conviction of his mind, because his mind was no longer fighting the body. It was giving an order. I must live. And when the mind gives such an order, the body obeys. Claude wrote in his diary that day, "Faith is not hope, it is knowing." When you hope for something, there is a little doubt. Maybe it will happen, maybe not. But when you believe, that doubt disappears. Then your every cell says, this will happen. And that is the vibration that bends reality. This is why that soldier survived, because the belief within him was greater than death. Later, Claude wrote this incident as a symbol in the magic of believing. He says our subconscious mind is connected to the force that runs this entire universe. When we think a thought continuously, with feeling and firmness, that thought becomes part of our subconscious. And the subconscious knows only one job: making what you believe come true. That is exactly what happened with that soldier. He did not see himself dying. He saw himself living. With the eyes of his mind, he was seeing his village, his mother, his future. And the subconscious said, "All right, this will be true." Every cell of our body, every heartbeat, every breath follows the commands of our mind. If the mind says, "I am tired," the body gets tired. If the mind says, "I am afraid," the heartbeat quickens. But if the mind says, "I will win," the body fights until its last breath. Claude wrote, "The body follows where the mind leads." So when that young man said, "I will survive," those were not just words. They were orders that reached every cell within him, and then even science bowed before belief. Many months later, Claude met that same soldier again. He was walking slowly, but on his own feet. Claude asked, "Do you remember that night?" He smiled and said, "I only remember my mother's voice. She was saying your belief will save you, and I believed it." Claude immortalized that moment in his book, because it was not just a soldier's story, it was the definition of belief. Claude says within every person is the same power that was within that soldier. You just need to activate it. In any condition, if you can hold belief in your goal the way that soldier held belief in his life, then nothing is impossible. Belief is that invisible engine that can change any circumstance. When you doubt, you give energy to defeat. When you believe, you give life to possibility. As Claude walked out of the hospital, the sun was setting, the sky was orange, and there was a strange peace in the air. He said to himself, "If one man can defeat death with his belief, why can't others defeat their fears?" That day changed his life, because for the first time, he saw belief not as theory, but as truth. And perhaps this is why he wrote, "Believe it and you will see it. First believe, then the seeing will begin on its own." Whenever life pushes you into darkness, remember that soldier who looked death in the eye and said, "I will not die, because my belief is greater than me." We will now discuss this book across 7 chapters. Let us begin. Chapter 1. The Power of Belief. Within every person, 2 worlds run, one that they see with their eyes and another that they create with belief. Claude Bristol says, "Your belief determines your reality." Yes, that's simple and that deep. Because your mind accepts as truth only what you keep telling it again and again. Imagine your mind is a radio station. Every thought is a frequency. Fear, doubt, hope, belief all have their own waves. Now, think if you tune your mind every day to frequencies like "I cannot do this" and "I am not enough," your subconscious catches those signals. It accepts them as truth. And all your energy starts working in the direction where failure is certain. Claude says, "Your mind is not a machine, it is a transmitter. It returns exactly what you send it. If you send it belief, it will return opportunity. If you send it fear, it will return obstacles." Many people think, first let something happen, then belief will come. But Claude says, first believe, only then will something happen. Belief is the seed from which every result grows. If you don't plant the seed, how will the tree grow? There was a young businessman who kept failing. Claude told him, "Every morning close your eyes and see yourself succeeding." At first it seemed foolish to him, but he started doing it. He began visualizing himself signing big orders, meeting happy clients. Within a few months, his confidence grew. He started making better decisions, and soon his business began to expand. Claude wrote, "He was not doing anything new. He had simply tuned himself to a different frequency." This is the magic of belief. Our subconscious is like a loyal servant. It follows every order, whether positive or negative. If you keep saying, "I am tired," your body will truly become tired. If you say, "I can do it," your mind will gather energy accordingly. This is why Claude says, "You are the picture of your own thoughts." Every time you think a thought, you are painting the picture of your future. Think about it. If you have so much power within you that just one thought can change your world, in which direction will you think now? Claude says, belief converts thought into reality. So next time someone says, "This is impossible," smile, because within you is the power that can make even the impossible bend. Chapter 2. The Mirror of the Mind. Do a small experiment. Every morning, look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I am the creator of my life." On the first day, it will feel strange. On the 3rd day, you will laugh. On the 7th day, these words will sink a little deeper inside. And one day, you will feel that something has changed. The image within you is no longer what it used to be, because when you repeat a thought again and again with emotion, that thought no longer remains just words. It becomes an energy. Claude says, "Thoughts are magnetic. They attract their own kind. When you emotionally charge a thought, it becomes a mental magnet. If you repeatedly feel that you are not enough, that energy pulls outside circumstances where you feel weak. But if you fill your thoughts with love, confidence, and strength, the universe gives you experiences of the same kind. What is outside is the echo of what is inside. The most honest way to look at your life is to see what is happening around you. If your world is scattered, it means there is some disorder within. If relationships are breaking, perhaps at some level you have forgotten to connect with yourself. Claude says, external circumstances are a reflection of the inner state. This is why if you want change outside, first change the image inside. Imagine your mind is a cinema screen. If the picture on the screen looks bad, you need to fix the projector, not the screen. We often try to improve the outer world, but real improvement happens within. Claude advises, every day, create in your mind the image you want to see. Just as an artist fills color on an empty canvas, fill new colors on your subconscious canvas. Every thought is a stroke. Every emotion is a color. Gradually, that picture will come alive, and the outer world will begin living that picture. Claude tells a story. There was a man who complained everywhere. People don't treat me well. He thought this every day, said it to everyone, and experienced the same thing every time. Then one day he changed his perspective. He said, I give people respect because I am worthy of respect. Within just a few weeks, people's attitude changed. Did the people change? No. His inner mirror changed. Now he was seeing himself differently, and the world began returning that same reflection. Claude says, life is but a reflection of what you believe yourself to be. Life only shows you what you believe about yourself. So next time you look in the mirror, don't just look at your face. Look at your thinking. Because if the picture inside is beautiful, the outer world will change on its own. Chapter 3. Desire, Faith, and Visualization. Every great invention, every success was once born in the heart of someone who did not just want, but felt that want, lived it, and saw it as if it were already true. When Thomas Edison dreamed of the light bulb, he had already seen that light in his mind before his first experiment. This is the power of visualization. Claude says, imagination is the workshop of the mind. When you visualize a goal, meaning when you close your eyes and completely see, feel, and live that goal, your subconscious mind treats it as reality and starts working in that direction. Visualization is the process where imagination transforms into energy. This is not magic, it is the greatest scientific process of your mind. Claude gives a rule. Think, see, feel, and believe that it is already yours. First think, what do you want? Then see as if it is already with you. Then feel the emotion of that experience. And finally believe that it is already yours. These 4 steps take the mind from thought to reality. When you visualize something repeatedly, your brain neurons start forming new connections. The subconscious mind accepts it as truth, and every circumstance, every opportunity begins forming accordingly. Claude says, your subconscious does not argue. It accepts whatever you deeply feel to be true, meaning your subconscious does not ask whether this is real. It only looks at how deeply you have felt it. Claude tells a story of a businessman who had vowed to grow his business. Every night he would close his eyes and see his office was bigger. People were meeting him with respect. His account was full of success. Within a few months, opportunities appeared that he had never imagined. He said, I had first lived my success in my mind, then the world made it real. The next step after visualization is faith. Faith, a trust that is beyond doubt. Claude says, faith is not hope, it is knowing. When you visualize and add belief to it, your thinking becomes magnetic. Then the universe, in response to that same energy, starts creating circumstances that match your belief. This very principle later became the foundation of the law of attraction. But Claude says this is not wishful thinking, it is disciplined thinking where you give direction to your energy. What you think, what you feel, what you visualize, all of it together one day becomes your reality. So tonight when you go to sleep, don't just sleep. See your dreams as if they are already true. Feel that you have already arrived there. Because every great journey always begins inside the mind. Then the outer world calls it success. Chapter 4. The subconscious mind, your silent partner. Claude considered this not science but spiritual power in his time. He says, your subconscious is a silent partner that hears every command, whether it comes from doubt or belief. Your subconscious takes every word, every thought, every emotion as a command. It does not know whether you are joking or serious. It only believes what you repeat again and again. If you repeat in your mind every day, I am weak, I cannot do it, my fate is bad. Your subconscious treats these sentences as orders and starts creating exactly those circumstances. But when you say, I am capable, I am calm, I am successful, these new codes channel your inner energy in a new direction. Claude says, repetition is the programming language of the mind. Every time you speak a positive statement, it installs new software within the subconscious. Claude's suggestion: every night before sleeping, give your mind instructions. Throughout the day, your conscious mind has grown tired and the subconscious is calm and ready to listen. In that very moment, say, I am calm. I am successful. There is magic within me. Gradually, these words begin to sink into your subconscious, and from there, they begin to shape your reality. Claude calls this the silent worker, that invisible force which works on your commands while you sleep. You sleep, but it stays awake. It connects new ideas, it finds solutions to problems, and the next day, it attracts events that match your commands, meaning your subconscious never goes on vacation. It is always in create mode. Claude gives an example. There was a salesman who always said, "I don't get deals. The market is bad for me." He kept thinking this day and night, and every day the same happened. Then one day he changed his language. Every morning he said, "People listen to me carefully. Every day my sales are growing." Within 3 weeks his business doubled. He said, "I did not do anything new. I just gave my subconscious a new command." Claude writes, "Words are seeds. Plant them with faith and they will grow. Every word is a seed. If you plant it in the soil of belief and water it with repetition one day, it returns as a flower. So be careful what you are planting: fear or trust, doubt or strength. Because your subconscious accepts every command as yes. In the silence of the night, when the world falls asleep, your true companion, your subconscious mind, wakes up. Give it direction, give it words, give it belief. Because Claude says, when you believe and repeat with firmness, the universe answers, so it shall be. Chapter 5. The Law of Belief and Suggestion. The way you give yourself suggestions, that is what you become. If you tell yourself, "I am fearful, I am a failure," your subconscious treats that command as true and creates exactly those experiences. But if you say, "I am calm, I am capable, I can do it," gradually these sentences build a wall of confidence within you. Claude says, every word you speak to yourself is a seed of destiny. Everything you say to yourself is the seed of your fate. Think of a child who hears every day, "You are weak, you cannot become like others." Gradually, that child begins to believe those words as true. The brain takes those suggestions as fact, and then their behavior, their courage, all molds in that direction. Now, if that same child hears every day, "You can do it, you are intelligent, you can change your world," the mind blossoms in that energy. Claude says, when belief enters the mind, change becomes inevitable. We all talk to ourselves hundreds of times a day, but pay attention, what is your tone like? Does it fill fear within you or confidence? Claude writes, your subconscious accepts every word you say as a command, so treat your words as sacred. Everything you say to yourself is a programming command for your mind. Confidence is not magic, it is the result of suggestions. Every time you say, "I can do it," a small nerve within you starts acting accordingly. When you say, "I am calm," your body truly relaxes. Heart rate slows, the mind gains clarity. Meaning words transform into energy. And that energy gives direction to your actions. Claude says, only speak what you want to see come true. Every morning and every night, rewrite your inner script. Start saying, "I am confident. I am the master of my life. My words are shaping my future." In the beginning, it will feel mechanical. But within a few weeks, your subconscious will begin treating these commands as new programming. And then one day, you will find yourself living exactly as you spoke. Claude suggests, the 5 minutes before sleeping at night and after waking in the morning are the most receptive moments for your subconscious. In those moments say, "I am safe, I am powerful, my words are changing my world." Gradually, these affirmations become a new voice of confidence within you. Claude says, confidence is born from suggestion, and suggestion is shaped by belief. So remember, what you speak does not just get lost in the air. It sinks into your subconscious, and from there it gives birth to your reality. Speak every word like a blessing, because your subconscious is listening and saying, "As you speak, so it shall be." Chapter 6. Faith in Action. When you transform your imagination into action, your belief deepens. Action is the bridge that connects the world of the mind to reality. Thinking is the first step, but walking is what makes the journey. Many people say, "First, let belief come to me, then I will act." But Claude smiles and says, "First act, then belief will come on its own." Because every action is a statement that says, "I trust myself." Claude tells the story of a soldier wounded in war who refused to accept defeat. He said, I will rise no matter how much pain there is. Every day he tried to walk a little. No one believed he would recover, but his actions were greater than his belief. And one day he truly began to walk. The doctor said it was a miracle. Claude said, "This is faith in action." Belief is not magic. It grows stronger with every step. When you take the first step, fear weakens. The second step awakens trust. The third step makes belief permanent. Claude writes, "Action feeds faith, and faith fuels action. Action nourishes belief, and belief gives power to action. The two support each other." Many people think that for belief, one must take a great leap. But the truth is the opposite. Small steps lay the foundation of great belief. Every morning, if you say, "I will move a little forward today," and you actually do it, your subconscious treats that as proof. Every effort teaches your mind, "I am trustworthy, I am capable." Claude's mantra was, "Act as if it were already true." If you want to become confident, walk like it, speak like it, think like it, as if confidence is already yours. Because the subconscious cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is deeply imagined. When you act as if something is true, your subconscious starts making it true. Chapter 7. Belief as a way of life. Claude Bristol's final message in this book is this: belief is not a one-time decision. It is a way of living. Every morning, every evening, every moment it is a choice to see yourself as capable, complete, and worthy. The world will give you reasons to doubt. People will say it is impossible. Circumstances will push you backward. But the one who holds belief in spite of all this, that person is truly powerful. Claude says, "The world is what you make it with your thoughts. Your thoughts, your words, your images, your actions, all of it together builds your world. This is not philosophy. This is the deepest science of the human mind." The soldier who survived on belief. The businessman who rebuilt his confidence with visualization. The salesman who doubled his business by changing his words. All of them use the same formula. Believe first, reality follows. So from today, make belief a part of your daily life. Every morning, look in the mirror and say, "I am capable. I am enough. My belief is my greatest power." Every night before sleeping, give your subconscious its instructions. And every time you take a small action, know that you are feeding your faith. Because Claude Bristol spent his entire life proving one truth: the magic of believing is not outside you, it is within you. It has always been within you, you just need to awaken it. And the day you awaken it, nothing remains impossible. Subscribe to One Book for weekly psychology, mindset, and self-development audiobooks.